What's up, guys? We're working out a little project here. This is my home church, New Covenant Assembly, now Lakefront Assembly, and I just want to show you guys some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. Very basic stuff. We're not majorly changing stuff. We have a good PA. We have a good mixer. We even have good mics. We're just gonna upgrade a few things, but ultimately optimize the entire system so everything works the way that it's supposed to. So if you look right here, we have two K subs. I think these are two 12-inch subs. This is the older generation. We have K12 speakers, also the first generation. They're a little bit heavier, but they play just as good as the newer ones. They don't have DSP, but they play just fine. They were on a pole over here. So before, you had really bad coverage. If you look, the speaker couldn't be aimed much this way because of feedback, because it was kind of like very close to one of the singers. So the speaker was kind of aiming much of that way. So for people sitting right here in the center, we had really bad coverage over here. And then the subs were also under the pole, which caused the big cancellation valley over here. So you couldn't really hear the sub much at all over here. You could if you sat on the side. But basically what we're doing here, very simple. We're gonna open the stairs here and we're gonna put the two subs inside of the stage to save space, make everything look more cleaner. And we're gonna hang these speakers up here. We do have a couple challenges. The first one is that we do have this light over here and we do have that TV. So I don't wanna have the speaker much behind of that light, even though that might not be possible fully, but I'm gonna try to have the speaker not in the same line as the lighting. And I'm also gonna have to have the speaker flush all the way up to the ceiling so it doesn't block the two TVs. So these are the main challenges, I guess, of the room. So John here, the master, he's gonna be helping opening the slot for the subs over here. And overall, just clean up, just do nice cable management over here. Clean up these crowd mics. Right now, they're just sitting on these, you know, these mic stands. And they can just look so much better than this, you know what I mean? So we're probably gonna use them on the side. We do have a new crowd mic that we're gonna be using that Shure Semi to test it, which is the DCA 901. This guy over here. I'm very excited to try it out. So for that guy, I'm still studying where I wanna have it, but there's a chance it might be kind of like in the middle of the room, picking up everything. As far as the board, we have an X32, pretty super standard. One of the AES ports is shot from a lightning from a few months ago. Everything else works though. And then as far as stage box, we do have a couple of these guys that we're gonna be upgrading. We're gonna have 4 brand new SLX 4D Plus, 2 SM58s per receiver. Okay, so we're gonna have 4 new wireless microphones. I'm gonna do some DIY stuff for the rack, because the rack is gonna be in the back of a room. But right now, this is what we have. We have these X-Stuga in-ear transmitters that just simply work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And we have a Midas stage box. So this is not a Behringer. This is like the nicer one with the nicer preamps. We have this, so I'm gonna build a newer rack that's gonna be in one of the rooms. I think it's gonna be in that back room with all of the wirelesses and everything, but it's gonna be an open rack because I don't know if I might have an antenna system to feed all the antennas. So the reason why I want to keep the rack open is so I don't have interference from keeping everything inside of the chassis. And then here we have 2 Sennheisers. This is what we are already using. This is an MC mic. This is a headset microphone. They've been here for a few years too. And then these are going to be the guys that we're going to replace with wireless mics. So we have, I think we have 1 SM58. Rest of them are Sennheiser EA35s. On their drum enclosure. It's beautiful. We're gonna do a couple things over here. I think I'm gonna move these overhead mics and put like either a boom arm or a gooseneck so I can actually point them correctly as cymbals, and probably install some LED lighting. We do have one on the floor, but it doesn't even work. Oh, we also have this system here. We have an extra stage box. This is an SD16. They connected tracks and some of the stuff, so I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I'm actually gonna use this as a stage box for the drums only, for the drum mics. And then this guy is gonna go to one of the rooms, but that guy's probably gonna live in the drum enclosure. And then this interface here splits the tracks, and I'm gonna have to fix some of the routing, make it stereo. Also, this is gonna go away. Ay. Okay, quick update. We already cut the stage. This is something really cool about audio installs, is that a lot of these things you got to be creative, and there's not a perfect solution, because the perfect solution depends on what you're trying to do in your building. Pretty much here, I even swapped, as you can see, the rubber feet holders. I swapped it from over here and put them at the bottom, and it worked great. So a lot of these things is just being creative. Now I'm getting everything ready to get the rack up on the wall. So this is our rack frame. I'm gonna put it over here, and then cables are gonna run all the way down for a clean install. Still trying to figure out speaker placement though, because of this light. I really wish we could get rid of this light, but we'll see what's gonna happen. All right, it's a new day, day 2 of install. Johnny's gonna finish the sub over here. He's gonna finish the finishing that's gonna go into the stage. Right now I'm getting everything ready to rig the speakers up. I still need to go through to the attic to look at the infrastructure. I think they're 2x6s going this way, so we're gonna usually use a 2x4, and we run it with a wire rope around it. I already have the eyelets on the K12s. I got my laser here, and I'm taking measurements. I put it in the software last night, and this room is about 48 foot wide, and I'm gonna play around with the rigging positions, but I think right now I'm 13 feet away off of the wall, and I think it's gonna work good because I'm trying to be on top of the TV, but at the same time not be too close to the lamps. So that's what we're up to right now. There's still a lot to do over here. All right, so we are building the rack right now. We put this into the wall so it's cleaner. This is some of the DMX stuff that the church has, some networking stuff as well. But yeah, we have 2 power conditioners. One of them, we're gonna run the PA and subs. The other one, we're gonna have the entire rack. So I got the DL32 here, which is the stage box. I have a bunch of patch cables that I'm gonna use to connect the microphones. These are the in-ears that we have from before. We're gonna add some more mics and put everything, try to make everything look as nice as possible. Let's go. All right, so a lot has happened ever since the last video I recorded. PA's up. We got it about, what was it? I think it was 15 feet away from the wall, but it's pretty much in the middle of the 2 chair sections, which gives us plenty of coverage. And yeah, if you look at that one, it looks great. Nothing happened on the sub yet, but we got power coming through these guys. We have power for the subs, and we already have them daisy chained. So yeah, everything is looking good. We ran brand new Ethernet cables for all the P16s off of the floor. We ran just shorter XLRs because they had so much left over. We're still soldering some cables over here, but everything is much more organized so far. This is gonna be the new mic station. So this was up here before, but this is gonna stay here now. As soon as the musicians are done, the singers are done, they can just leave their mic here charging. It's a pretty quality of life upgrade for them, so they're definitely gonna love that. Now over here by the drums, we have the smaller stage box that was back there, so we can run shorter XLR cables for the drums to just plug it right in here. We ran the XLR cords up on top of the enclosure. They're gonna come out through here. I'm gonna lock them on the side. They're gonna look nice. We made a hole over here. This is going under the stage to the back where we have the rack. And over here we got the rack, so it's pretty much done right now. We had a problem with one of these. We weren't getting signal. So if you have P16s at your church, either you have one of these and you only have one cable, or you have an Ethernet cable and a power supply for that. So this guy bypasses you having to use a power supply to power your P16, because it sends the power over just the one cable. But besides that, we got the 3 in-ears. These are the new microphones. So I'm very excited to try these because the singers have been struggling with all those cords on stage. So I think this is gonna be such a quality of life upgrade too. And we ran brand new cords for the PA, for the sub. So that's cool. Everything is much more organized. Here we have the PA on the firming going to a circuit. And then here we have everything else in the rack going to this other power conditioner that pretty much just controls the voltage of everything. And it has this little LED. All right, got a lot done since last time I recorded anything. I'm very tired. It's been a long day. We got pretty much most of the stuff done. We got the PA up. It looks nice. It worked out amazing If I walk from back here, you can see that it's not behind the light, and it's also on top of the TV, and it's literally right in the middle of the two chair sections, which is really cool. So right now, I was just labeling cables on the floor. All the P16s are working. We ran custom cords for every single one of them. I didn't really label the DI because sometimes you swap DI, so I labeled the cable. You can always look at the cable and see what you're working with. And then same thing here, everything's labeled. I added spare channels, so there's like one spare cord over here, another one over there for more inputs. I was just testing tracks, everything's working. So just so you guys know the setup that we're using, we have a Behringer UMC 1820. This is the best way to run tracks for cheap, to make them sound the best way possible. Let me give you guys a tip. If you run playbacks and you're still running your tracks off of a cord to two DIs with like mono and click and guide on the other one, please stop doing that. Get an interface, because it's so cheap. You can get an interface. You don't need the 8 inputs. They bought this because they want a whole bunch of outputs, but we're not even gonna use all of them. But all you need is an interface with 4 outputs. Why? I'll explain you why. Here on the app, you're able to route the bus outputs. So for example, you go to settings and then you click buses. And then from here, you see most of the stuff I have 1/2. That means that it's coming out of my main 1 and 2, which are the first 2 outputs. So 1 and 2, 1 left, 2 right, which is stereo, right? We have 10 more outputs, quarter inch outputs. So basically what I'm doing, I have all the instruments, everything, all the stems coming to my main left and right, and then I have click coming through 3, and I have guide coming through output 4. So this is the setup right here. I have the quarter inches going to 4 DI boxes and splitting to 4 XLRs. So I have all the stems coming through channel 15 and 16, which are linked because they're stereo, left and right. So with this, you get actually true stereo. When you run tracks through like a 3.5 to 2/4 inch, you run your tracks mono, and then on the second channel, you run the click. With this, you get to actually hear your track stereo. And if you have P16s, you know, it's gonna sound so much better. So much better. And the reason why I like to split click and guide is because I've always had this problem that the guide voice would be overwhelmingly super loud. So with this, the musicians, they're able to adjust the guide voice from the click. They're not in the same channel. You have 2 separate channels. And then the mix itself, you don't really need to mess with it much, because the people who actually mixed and mastered these tracks, they worked in $1 million studios that you would never be able to afford to get a mix to sound like them. Obviously, if you have, you know, a bass player, you can get it off. If you have an acoustic guitar playing really nice, you can take it off. But you can still leave a little bit. But if you don't have instruments, like just, for example, let's say you don't have electric, you can just try to play with everything in Unity. On the app here, usually Unity gain is all the way up, because it will sound good. If you keep messing with the volume too much, you might actually affect the tracks and they're not gonna sound as good as they would. So this is the biggest advantage of having an interface to split your tracks. I hope this helps you, because 90% of churches that come to me struggling with audio, they don't even know that they can run their tracks stereo, and it's so cheap. It's such a cheap upgrade that can make your whole entire front of house and in-ears and live stream sound so much better, because when you open mono to stereo, you have such wider image of the sound. You know, a lot of people don't even realize. Same thing as like making a keyboard stereo, you know, adding a second DI to it. If you have the channel count, if you have the cables, if you have the DIs, there's no reason not to make everything stereo. I hope that helps you. Now we just gotta finish cleaning up everything here. Put the cables away. We were able to actually organize a bunch of the stuff. This is gonna be the new station for the microphones. Really cool. This is the SBC 203 from Shure. And I purchased these batteries here that are rechargeable. So you just put them in here, and after you put the mic in the battery station, it recharges. So you don't need to worry about those really cheap Amazon batteries that may die on you. Now let me show you guys the rack we just finished putting together. I just gotta clean up a little bit more, but this is it right here.
I ended up using most of the cords that the church already had, which I hated it because they're super thick and it was so hard to get it up in the wall and everything, but whatever. They're here, they're work. These are the new cables that we custom soldered for like the PA. So this for the subs, PA left and right, and then I think we did 2 custom ones, yeah, for the crowd mics, which are these 2 guys over here. Stuga in-ears, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'm just hoping and praying that they're gonna work in this antenna farm. They might, because this is just drywall and we might get RF signal. I'll let you guys know. These I'm sure they will work because they have such a strong and reliable RF signal. Same thing with these guys. I think these are even better because they're newer technology, and this is really cool. This 4D Plus, these are probably one of the first mics that cover all the frequency band available in the market right now for sale. For example, these here, they're probably 470 megahertz up to 500. These cover the whole band, so 470 up to 600. So you can pretty much use these mics anywhere in the country. If you take it to Texas, they're gonna work. If you use them here in Florida, they're gonna work. If you take it to Cali, they're gonna work. So this is cool. I don't suggest this to any of you watching me and that are gonna roast me. This is Antenna Farm, and I know we're gonna get an antenna system. I was working with the stuff that we had here, and I just wanted to improve with what we had. So if we do get RF dropouts, which I'm sure we will with these in-ears, we will get an antenna system to amplify everybody. So we split these 2 circuits. So this guy has the PA and the subs, and this guy is feeding power to everything in the rack. Pretty cool. This is very cheap, this rack frame, and we just put it into the wall to make it a little bit more cleaner. I just wanted to make sure that audio was done correctly. So this is it. Also really cool, just wanted to show you guys where we put the shotgun mics. It looked really clean because we used install 22 gauge copper cable that is just so thin. When you look from anywhere, it just kind of blends in with the church. You know, you can't even see that's there, so that was cool. The mic that Shure sent me, I'm gonna probably put it here to test it. So I ran a Cat 6 cable. I'm gonna see what kind of infrastructure I'm gonna hang this microphone up in the ceiling, but that's gonna be really cool running this microphone. It runs on Dante. We unfortunately don't have Dante here at the church because I'm gonna install a Wave Sound Grid expansion card on the on our humble X32. But I'm able to at least test the mic and record using my DVS on my MacBook. So that's gonna be cool. I'm excited.